Okay, fuckers, this is how it is. I'm starting this channel because I have this crazy fucking neighbor. And I moved in July of last year, of 2023. And I love this house. This house is amazing. It's so much better than the one we were in for 18 years. We're very happy. We couldn't be any happier. But next door, we have the devil herself. February 18th of 2024. I know, that's the middle of winter, and yes, she was blowing her leaves into my yard, which makes no sense in February, but what the hell, that's what I'm dealing with. But anyway, I figured out she had been blowing her leaves from her yard through my fence into my yard. So trying to be a good neighbor, I decided I would go out and I would ask her nicely to not blow the leaves into my yard. I feel I should, you know, I should be responsible for when I do my yard, not my neighbor making me responsible for doing it at that moment because she makes a mess. So I speak with her and she tees off on me and tells me how she's never going to stop, and you know, they're my leaves. Anyway, she rambled on and I walked away and I left it alone. And right after that, she called animal control on my dog because my dog barked 3 whole times at her, and that upset her. She does not like dogs. So she called animal control about my completely raving mad dog that is vicious. And they showed up and they saw that, well, there's a fence. There's a fence and she's on a chain. Oh, and I'm out there the whole time with her, so she's never out there by herself, so it's not like she's out of control. So anyway, I have this discussion with animal control, and they go on and said that basically she's just bitching to bitch. So I got a hold of my neighborhood patrolman for the city, and I talked to him about it, and he talked to her and said that the he's just a military veteran and he just wants peace and he just wants left alone. Well, that's not what she wants, though. She told him that she is going to get me in trouble, basically. So that is her quest. So since February, we have 10 instances now of just pure harassment from her, calling the city code enforcement department to have them come out and look at my property, because when it rains, rain goes from my property to her property. Now, if you saw where we lived and you realized that there's a hill and she's downhill from me, I have no fucking earthly idea how I'm going to stop gravity to keep that rain from going into her yard. But basically, the code enforcement people looked at her like she was nuts and went away. So she did that, and then April 20th, I was in my backyard and I used to be in a band, so I had this mask on I used to wear on stage, and well, that day is the day she cut my back fence. So I'll never wear that mask again. I'm kind of nervous to see what it would escalate to from just property damage. So I have chose not to wear that mask now, and my wife kept telling me to be the bigger person, and I called the police and I made a report about her causing property damage to my fence. The detective called me, and his response basically was she's 84 and it's only a fence. So right there I knew they don't want to press charges because on paper she's an 84-year-old innocent lady. But she is the devil. She is the devil herself. After she cut my fence, then we move on just a little bit of time, and she starts making comments every time I go outside, how I'm outside just because she's outside and I shouldn't be outside when she's outside, and on and on. So I get harassed pretty much every time I walk out my door. Well, then she started calling animal control again because there's wild ducks that showed up one day, and I do have some bird feeders out for the songbirds. I have peanuts and just seed, stuff like that for the songbirds, the blue jays, the cardinals. I find that relaxing. I thought old women found that relaxing. I was sadly mistaken by that. But anyway, some ducks, wild, keep that in mind, wild ducks came to my yard one day and they ate some of the food. So, well, like I don't want the, like, it was cool to have the ducks there, but I don't want the ducks there either because, I mean, they're wild and there's a chance they're going to get hit because they're not the brightest ducks on earth. And they'll just stand in the road. So I changed my feed, and I believe what they were eating was the cracked corn in the bird seed I had. So I got rid of that bird seed, and I have seed without cracked corn. And the ducks had progressively quit coming back, but it wasn't quick enough. So the neighbor called animal control that I'm feeding the ducks. So animal control came out and they saw that I'm not feeding the ducks. They did have some questions about a city ordinance and whether, I could openly feed squirrels, because squirrels are considered wildlife, and their belief was the city ordinance said that you couldn't feed wildlife. So until we could straighten that matter out, I took down my platform feeder that had nuts in it that I feed the blue jays, so the squirrels won't get them, because the squirrels come just because there's food. So I took that down and I looked up the city ordinance, and I called animal control back and I clarified with them, but the city ordinance had been changed and it don't say wildlife anymore. It just says you can't feed the deer and the waterfowl. So he agreed, and everything I was doing was within ordinance, and I'm not trying to attract the birds or anything like that. So he talked to his supervisor, and his supervisor also agreed that I am in the rights to do what I'm doing. I'm not trying to feed the wildlife or the deer or the ducks. All the feeders are 4 feet off the ground. It all falls within the city ordinance. Well, then a couple days later, after I talked to him and found out everything I was doing was fine, legal, I wasn't doing anything outside of any ordinance, they get called again. So they call me this time, and I talk to them, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't do anything different. I'm still not feeding the ducks. I haven't even seen the ducks by that time. So, I told her she's probably going to get a lot more calls, because my neighbor, she thoroughly believes I am Cinderella, and that the wildlife, I can call them, and they dress me in the morning. I dance around in the front yard, and the birds dress me to get my day started, because I am fucking Cinderella. So anyway, I tried to file third-degree harassment charges on this 84-year-old innocent lady because I have tons of video evidence of all this tomfoolery she's been doing and the harassment. But, and I can agree with it. I was told that, you know, they could charge her, but it's just going to get dropped because she's 84 years old. And just like, as the police department said, just like our current president, Joe Biden, President Biden had classified material in his home, as did former President Trump. Anyway, this isn't political, but anyway, the officer brought up that in President Biden's case, because of his age, that they weren't going to charge him with anything because, like, he didn't mean to do anything wrong. So, I mean, this harassment's just fine as long as you're over a certain age, and, you know, you're not going to find a jury or a judge that's going to convict her because she's an innocent 84-year-old lady. So I was like, fine, fine. And he said I could civilly sue her. I could get a lawyer and I could civilly sue her and try to get a restraining order of some sort there. But then I'm like, well, why would I want to spend all that money to shut this old hag up? I mean, like, that's just going to cost me money. I've already spent money putting up a windscreen on my fence so my dog can't see her, so my dog won't bark at her. By the way, it worked. My dog doesn't bark at them now, but she don't like the looks of it, and she knows my dog can't see her, so now she makes a point of staying close to the fence so my dog can see her over the fence. So this just goes on, and she keeps poking and poking, and you know, my wife told me, my mother-in-law and father-in-law, God bless them, they're great people, they told me to be the bigger person, and I have been. But at this point, I can't be the bigger person because there's no repercussion for her actions. Criminal or not, they dropped the charges on the fence that she cut because she's 84 years old. And that's cool. That's cool. I'm cool with that. She makes my life uncomfortable. I don't like going outside. I enjoy being outside, but like I don't like going outside just because I know there's going to be some form of harassment. When I am out there, she fucking watches me the entire time. We're talking to the point that I think it's paranoia because I just feel like I'm being watched, and I am. She watches me. If we walk out of our home, she'll crack the windows on her shade in her kitchen just to watch, just to watch us. She is very concerned about what I do on my property. And so, since there are no repercussions and it was just causing me a lot of frustration and anger, and my wife, because this has mainly been directed at me, so my wife had, like, she don't do this to my wife, she mainly just does it to me. So my wife finally started seeing that, like, yes, this is what she's doing, that she is doing these things. I have video evidence of it too, so like, I'm not out of my mind. I'm not blowing anything out of proportion. My wife has become very angry about this because, I mean, it's frustrating because, like, you always have to worry about the police or animal control or somebody showing up at your house and you have to fucking get questioned, and it's just aggravating more than anything. I mean, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not trying to hide anything, so I don't care if they come to my house. It's just an inconvenience I don't need. But that's okay. It's an inconvenience that now I realize I have to deal with, and that's fine. So I have decided, being the salty veteran that I am, I'm going to chronicle this crazy ass shit on YouTube. And I'm not going to threaten her. I'm not going to be mad at her. I'm not going to do anything like that. I'm just going to live my best life. My best life might mean I'm out in a sundress, or I'm wearing a lingerie. I will be fully covered. I'm not going to bear anything. I'm not going to skirt the law or even close to the law. There's nothing wrong with me being weird and wearing whatever the fuck I want. So there's going to be a lot of videos of me doing yard work in various costumes, outfits. I've already posted one for my first day. It's me and my wife's muumuu, or my wife's house dress. I will give you women one thing. That fucking updraft that you get wearing those things, I mean, my God, I was fucking cold all day. That fucking updraft on my ass cheeks was incredible. I was like, holy shit, how do women do this? I can't wear a dress every day, but I will make that sacrifice for some video. And this channel will be called The Crazy Vet Next Door. And I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to make her not want to look at me. If she wants to stare at me, I just feel I should give her something to look at. If they want to take pictures to prove to whoever that I'm dressing this way, I am more than willing to pose for them. I will pose. If I see them taking my picture, I will pose. No problems with that. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of ass scratching, and I don't know. My finger might find my belly button a whole bunch when I'm just standing out there puffing on a cigar, almost naked, with a skimpy bathing suit on. She does a lot of selling out of her garage too, so there's a good amount of people that come to her property to buy things from her. I'm more than willing to let them know that I might be a little off. It'll give everybody something to do, something to laugh at. The other neighbors, I'm sure, will be like, what the fuck? But, I mean, honestly, I'm not fucking loony, but I have to give her something to watch, because, like, if I'm going to be watched, I might as well give on a show. I like giving a show. I enjoyed playing in front of an audience in the band I was in, so it's all about the show. And, well, the show's starting here now. Feel free to message me for my address if you want to come and take your own video of me doing yard work in whatever outfit. Feel free to message me. I'll give you my address. You can come and video anything you want. You can come and help me do yard work. You can wear whatever you want. By no means do I want to direct any ugliness or hate in her direction. I wish her no harm. She's just a better old lady, and she can be that way. And I'm just going to give her something to watch, and that's how this will work now. So this is going to be The Crazy Vet Next Door, and you never know what I'm going to do next. I have put a sign up front on my bird feeders stating that I don't want any deer or wildlife, please, at my feeders. I mean, I think it's ridiculous to think that I pay or can conjure these ducks into my yard, but hey, if you want to be ridiculous, I'll make up a ridiculous sign, and I know the other neighbors that keep stopping by to read the sign, they like it. And I know when my neighbor, I mean, she made a point to back all the way up to read it, and I mean, like, you could see the steam coming off of her head as she drove away when she saw me laughing, looking at her. So this will be interesting. if you stop by, if you want my address, just ask. If you stop by, just, I don't want any hate directed towards her, no negative comments, nothing like that. She can live in peace, and she can say whatever she wants. But I'm also going to do whatever the fuck I want. And if that's dressing uncomfortable in her mind, hey, I have that right. She can call the police and tell them that I'm dressing weird. I don't know what they can do about it, but she could call them and say I'm doing something weird. I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay for me to be a little off. There's nothing wrong with that. So anyway, that's what this is all about, and I hope you enjoy this channel. I don't embarrass easy. If you have any suggestions, hit me up on Facebook, comment on YouTube. If you want to pitch in, I'm more than willing to give people my Venmo or my address to send me costumes or outfits to wear. I just want to have fun. And if having fun means doing this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have fun. I'm not going to be mad at her anymore. I'm not going to let her have that control. I really hope my outfits, like, keep her up at night. I hope the image is burnt well into her mind when she sees them. But, hey, you know, come check it out. My name's Herb. Spent a little bit of time in the military. I'm a veteran. I just hang out and I clean my house and I take care of my wife, and, well, now I have this channel so I can be a crazy fucking vet. So let's see what kind of craziness I can do or come up with. See y'all on the channel. Thanks for watching.